Hello, sweetie. So, first of all, I just want to say, fuck you, YouTube, because I already did this video, and took an hour and a half to upload, and then it was like, sorry, it's too long, and I'm like, sorry, you're an asshole. So it didn't actually upload, even though it took 90 minutes to upload. I don't fucking know. And I'd also like to say, fuck the Weeping Angels, because I had a nightmare about those last night, and so now, like, I got, like, no sleep because of that, and so I'm like, this is like my third Mountain Dew, and I haven't been up that long, because of all the emotional trauma. So on that note, today, it's not so much a recap as it is everything that's wrong with 50 Shades of Grey, besides the fact that it exists. So I'm gonna get started so this video doesn't end up being too long for YouTube, motherfuckers. Anyway, so Adam mentioned in his last video about how E.L. James keeps alluding to Tess of the Dubervilles, and Adam and I had never actually read Tess, so I read the summary on Wikipedia, and E.L. James is constantly referring to Anna as Tess and Christian as Alec, and it's supposed to be fucking romantic. Well, you know, as it turns out, in Tess, Alec rapes Tess, and by the end of the story, she's murdered him. Romance. So my friend Nikki, hi Nikki, who actually read and studied Tess, tweeted E.L. James about this, and I have the screenshots right here, because Nikki is a pro who screenshots her shit. So Nikki tweeted E.L. James and asked, have you actually read Tess of the Dubervilles? If you had, you'd know that Alec rapes Tess and Tess murders him. Romantic? E.L. James responded, nice, right, saying, it's a very grim, bleak story, not at all romantic. And Nikki said, tragedy, of course. It makes me wonder why you chose to align it with Christian and Anna, and why you avoid mention of Tess's rape. Well, we were not so lucky as to get a response from E.L. James that time, and actually, along with not responding, she blocked Nikki on Twitter. So, do with that information what you will. But, I mean, come on, like, you can't do anything positive with that, because she just fucking blocked her. Whatever. And that is not all Nikki did. She has really contributed to this video, but we had been discussing, like, the dom-sub relationship, and Nikki did some research on that, and then I also did to make sure we were on the same page. As it turns out, it's not the dominant who makes the rules and sets the boundaries and the safe words. It's a submissive, which, honestly, I don't know why I didn't think of it before, because it makes a lot more sense, because the submissive is the one who's going to be enduring, like, the pain for their sexual pleasure, and so it would be them, obviously, who would say, okay, this is what you're allowed to do to me, this is what you're not allowed to do to me, because, like, they're the one who could potentially get hurt if things go too far. But in 50 Shades of Grey, it's Christian, like, I'm gonna do this to you, and Anna's like, I don't know, and he's like, no, trust me, it's fine. Which is shady as fuck. So, I mean, the amount of research not done here by the author is fucking astounding. So that being said, I want to come to my third point here, that there's a lot of people, fans of this book, which is weird in and of itself that this book has fans, but a lot of them will deny the fact that 50 Shades of Grey was originally Twilight fanfiction, which it was. It was AU fanfiction, alternate universe, but the point of fact is it was still fanfiction. It isn't publicly posted anywhere anymore. But the thing about the internet, kids, is if you put something out there, you better hope that you want it there fucking forever. Because guess what? I have a PDF version downloaded on my laptop because you can do that. Because it's the internet. I can only assume Anna is so clueless about the internet because E.L. James doesn't know what the fuck she's doing with the computer. The original work was called Master of the Universe. All she did was do a search and replace with Edward and Bella's names to Christian and Anna, and there's some like grammatical fixes. I mean, this is still really not well written at all. And for those of you who are still in doubt, let me just flip, if you have a hard copy of this fucking bestseller, ridiculous. If you just look a few lines down, right over here, it says the author published an earlier serialized version of this story online with different characters. I think they mean different character names, but okay. As Master of the Universe under the pseudonym Snow Queen's Ice Dragon. That's not a pseudonym you see unless you check out fanfiction.net. Like, come on. Now, but like, of course, E.L. James and her publisher and her fans all deny this. You know why? Because it's fucking plagiarism if she's making money off her fanfiction, you know. So, you can't just take people's shit and rename it and gain riches and notoriety off of it, because according to my college professors, plagiarism is bad. I mean, so is 50 Shades of Grey, so I guess, you know, it all kind of panned out, except not, because E.L. James has got a lot more money than I do, and it's whatever. Most people have more money than I do, but, like, that's besides the point. Now at this point you might be wondering, Katie, what the fuck is your problem with fanfiction? To which I say, none. None problem with fanfiction. I love fanfiction on an almost unhealthy level. But I think it belongs on the internet. I don't think it should get published and put on the bestsellers list because people don't know what's good for them. So I really do. I really love fanfiction. There's some really well-written stuff out there. I've read better sex scenes written by probably 14-year-old girls. And you know what? They don't all say down there because, you know, we all know that it's called a vagina. But, alright. Actually, also, there was a recent interview with E.L. James, and one of the questions was asking her how she came up with the phrase happy trail. And I was sitting here like, because everybody knows that phrase. I mean, stop me if I'm wrong, but happy trail is something I heard when I was like 15. And I will give E.L. James credit, because this time she was like, oh, I probably read it somewhere. And I was like, just like you probably read your entire book somewhere? Like, before you wrote it? But of course she won't admit that, because then she's gonna be in trouble. I wonder if Stephenie Meyer has, like, heard of this. Or, like, I mean, Stephenie Meyer is also not one of my favorite authors, but I don't have time to explain all the things that are wrong with Twilight, because YouTube won't let me. But you'd think she'd, like, you know, hear about this and be, like, checking it out and, like, this all seems oddly familiar. Like, no, not the setting, or not the fact that these people are not vampires, but the characters, the themes. It's not original. And it's not even good erotica. I have read better 13th century French erotica. You know, I've read better 14-year-old girls writing about sex in the Harry Potter universe erotica. It's a thing. So, I don't know. I mean, this just gives me like a headache and a rage fest somewhere in this vicinity. I'm not really sure where the feeling's coming from, but it's painful. But on that note, I'm going to finish this up and say, not really sure how the next recap is going to go because I'm actually moving to Georgia with Adam this weekend. So, I'm sure we'll probably still do separate ones, but we're also going to do ones where we collaborate on the reviews, and it's probably going to involve some drinking games, which if you're old enough, you can play along at home. Just be prepared, because we're probably going to make these really ridiculous rules where we're going to have to drink like every paragraph or something. But, alright, on that note, that'll be it for the recap, and hopefully this time, this one will actually stay on YouTube where it fucking belongs. Alright, see you later.